Scrappy friends, it's Kim back from Making Creative Memories in Time, and I am here to start another one of my Take Me Back Thursday series where we pull old things from way back, whether it be paper, photos, embellishments, whatever. We're just going to be inspired to take me back, right? To get some pages in our albums. Today I am going to be scrapbooking this photo from take me way back to 2002 to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, when my family and I went to one of the Dolly Parton dinner show restaurants, and we had a wonderful time. So this is a 8x6 photo. I already cropped it down, and it was a 8x10, but I created it in an 8x6 so that I could scrapbook it. So hopefully this class will do a couple things. It will encourage you to pull larger photos and start working with them. And then we're going to talk a little bit about color theory and how you match up papers to complement and pull colors out of your photo. So if you notice, I already have this matted on this beautiful blue. So there's some blue in these people in my family, my mom and my uncle. Ashley is wearing Roland's mommy. She's two. She's wearing some denim shorts. My uncle has some blue in his shirt. My brother has some blue in his shirt. So I thought this was really good to help. The blue is sort of in this third of the photo. If you think about your photo being in thirds, it's sort of right in this second third there, and this blue really pulls your eye into that. Okay, of course, you know I'm going to have a white base, right? But we're going to look at, I want to trim half inch off, and then I want a patterned base behind. Okay, this is a gorgeous, it's got coppers and caramels and rich hot fudge colors. When I lay this down, automatically you pick up these darker areas in the photo, right? And then this is just a scrap of a piece of orange. And when I lay it down on this orange, you automatically, your eye is pulled to those colors in the sunset, and your eye is pulled to these colors. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay our white cardstock down, like what it's going to look like when we get the page double matted, right? And we're going to look at what does this color behind do for our photo. Now, while I still see these tones of oranges and golds, and I still see that sunset, what's really prominent in this photo are the blues and then these dark colors, okay? I like that, but let's see what it looks like if we try backing this on the orange. It does, I'm still seeing those dark colors. It doesn't feel as heavy, and I am totally, like, I love how this is bringing your eye around, encapsulating the people in this group photo. So I am going to have a base page of this orange, this it's like tangerine and pumpkin and some polka dot. This is going to actually end up being my base page. Off camera, I went ahead and gutted this page down. So I trimmed, first of all, I trimmed my bright white cardstock. I trimmed a ½ inch off and a ½ inch. So this ends up being 11.5 by 11.5 white cardstock. And then I gutted this orange to a 1-inch gut, and I love that. Already got that adhered. And then I had just some scrap pieces that I had cut and used in another one of these Grateful Harvest. And these, if I am not mistaken, these are random widths, and they're all 10 inches. Okay, so we are just going to play around a little here friends, we're just going to play around a little with these colors. These are all strips. This is going to be a very simple, easy design that will allow you to work with some really busy paper, or some paper that has some bold color in it. Oh, I love this. Do you see how this one little 1/2 inch piece of this gold really pulls out those gold flags? This little 1/2 inch piece with these beautiful reds really focuses in on the red. Obviously, back in 2002, we didn't like take note of what we were wearing, or we could have dispersed the color a little better. It's like we've got a pot of red, we've got a pod of white, and we've got a pod of blue. Isn't that funny? So this is kind of where I'm thinking. I have pulled a card. Now, this collection is called Grateful Harvest, and we have some great stickers. So there's this awesome autumn that I thought I may use for a title. Fabulous fall I may use for a title. We have fall just written out, like we could go at the bottom. I kind of feel like all of that might be a little bit busy because this is a large photo. We've got busy paper. So I was thinking of something a little more calming for the title. I'm thinking about cutting out this good times and let good times be my title. We actually have a ticket from the dinner way back 2002 dinner at Dolly Parton's restaurant in dinner and show restaurant in Pigeon Forge was $38.49. I need to Google what the ticket price is now. So I think I just want to use that as like a little bit of ephemera. I definitely want this little wheelbarrow in the wagons, and I'm going to fussy cut that whole thing out, but we'll do it in a way that I can still use that yellow mat later if I want. And I think this little cart is going to happen down here. I think my title is going to happen up here. We'll cut that out. And then I was thinking, I also have these borders, and I was thinking that we might fussy cut and have a little bit of the border just fussy cut off and use. And of course, if you follow me, you know your girl absolutely loves some ink. So we're probably going to do a little bit of inking on this page as well. So let's get started. I think first what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut. Now I won't do this on camera so that you have to watch. But I am going to go ahead and trim this down. This is a 3 1/4 cord. And so what I'm going to do is, and you guys may have seen me do this before, I'm going to take my hole punch and we're just going to start with a hole inside right there. And the purpose of that is to get my scissors in there. And we're just going to very loosely make a trim around. And now I can trim that little bit off and still use that as a photo mat. So that's not going to be wasted at all. So I am going to go ahead. I'm going to get this started for you so you can see what I'm doing. And then I will fussy cut this off camera and be back once it is fussy cut, friends. And there you go. Now, I didn't try to cut in there or in there. That is perfectly fine. And if you're like me and you have a little spot here or there that you kind of caught, you can totally cut that down. Now, I'm going to want to put this, I don't want to cover Dolly's little autograph or note to us. Okay, I'm going to lay down a little ink right here and probably a little ink up here. Now, also, if you follow me, you know that when I work with a one-page design, with one photo, regardless of how many photos is on it, but it's a one-page layout in a scrapbook. I like a diagonal, and typically for me, because I'm right-handed, I start with my design elements in the lower left and go to the top because I'm right-handed and that's just how I do it. But also we read from left to right. Okay, now I want to think about, how do I want to cut this Good Times? I definitely think I'm cutting that pretty close, and I want to get this side pretty close because I do not want this to be a really large element. May have gotten that just a little bit closer, but that's okay. We are going to sort of create a little bit of, I'm not measuring this at all, just kind of guessing at it, friends. We're going to create a little bit of a tag. I'm going to make my own tag here. So I'm cutting, and then I'm going to take this and flip it over here so I get the same angle. Okay. And then I'm going to do a little hole punch because I probably will put something in. And this is going to, you know what? No, because I don't want that to, I really don't want that to compete. So what if, here I go thinking about what I'm doing, friends. I don't want to hide my paper up here is my thing. I don't want to hide my paper up here. So maybe what I want to do here is let this be down here. We're just going to play around a little bit. And I still don't think I want that to be a tag. So we're going to come back in. We're going to cut that off. It's okay. Well, now let's move this back where I wanted it. Sometimes you just have to play around with things. Literally, you have to play around with things sometimes. So what if we do, and I can trim that down a little if I need to. Good Times. I think I like that. And I do think I want to show the price. I do think I want to show the price. Okay, so we're getting there, friends. You know me. Sometimes it takes me a while to get where I'm going. I eventually get there, though. So right here, we are going to just fussy cut directly on the separation line between that pumpkin and this mum. And this is going to be a little element right here. And then over here, I think I'm going to fussy cut. No. Do I want to do that or do I not want to do that? No, we don't want to do that. Okay. All right, friends. We are moving on. So I'm happy with this. Let's go ahead and commit to paper. So what I'm going to do here is I probably only need one map. And I am going to line up this gold piece at 1.5 inches in. And the key to what I'm doing is make sure this base page, and let's just go ahead and put down some tape so it doesn't wiggle on me. Because if I'm going to be using a ruler to make sure that things are straight. Okay, so this is going to come in at 1.5 inches, and I am going to attach this little guy. I'm probably going to run out of tape. It never fails. If I'm live or trying to record a video, it never fails. Do you feel me on that, friends? I mean, that's just my luck, right? So 1.5 inches. And right here, we need to come in. And now we should be straight. I should not have to worry. Everything else should match up. And again, these were just random strips. I think that some of them were cut at 10 inches and some of them were cut at 12 inches. And I just, when I realized, I think this one was already cut at 10 inches with the leaf. And I thought, well, let's just go ahead, whatever other strips we have, and let's cut them to 10 inches, and we will just use scraps. So hopefully that's another thing that you learn or are reminded of, right? Because I know in all of my amazing followers, subscribers, we all have ultimate skill levels. We have things we're really good at. We have things we're learning. And I just love to scrapbook. I love to tell my family stories, and I love to teach. And if all you do is walk away with one thing today, then I've done my job. Or if you walk away inspired, I have done my job with you today, friends. So what I did here is, after I did cut this one red piece off camera, because I felt like with that red in all of the photos I needed, and like, this is not bothering me that that's not perfectly put down. I'm okay with that. I like little things like that. To me, that like signifies that this is handmade, and I'm here for it, right? I am here for it. So I have to be really careful. This is a paper photo. So I'm going to go ahead and decide where I want my inking before I attach the photo. I'm going to want some ink here. I'm going to want some ink in this corner and some ink in this corner. And I think what I'm going to do, friends, actually, you know what? It's okay. I am going to move that. I was going to say it's okay, but I am going to move that. I think I am going to use potter's clay, because potter's clay will look really pretty. And I'm going to drop it right down in here, right on my craft mat. And I am going to, this is just, I don't even know what number brush this is. This says it's a liner brush. It's a number 2 liner brush. And it's long, it's old. I don't even know where this came from. We're going to mist in some water. And we're just going to drop. Now, I have been doing this for a while, friends. I've been using ink and doing ink splatters for a while, and I know how to control it just a little bit better. Okay. Like you can actually control ink, right, and splatters, but we're going to do our best. And also, for those of you who follow me, you know that I love a microfiber towel in my craft room, and I wash them depending on how much I get to craft, usually every week or every other week, and I just use them until they get so nasty that look nasty. Like this one is clean. It looks nasty, but it's clean. And then to clean my brush, I just mist on water. These distress sprayers I picked up at Hobby Lobby. You can pick up little misting water bottles at Walmart, Dollar Store, Target. And if that doesn't work in your craft room, you can do the same thing with water. Just some water. Okay. Now, that is dry. We're just going to go ahead and wipe up. And so now let's go ahead and attach our photo. And the reason I'm going to go ahead and do that misting before I put my photo down, this is paper. And if this got on my paper picture, it would absorb directly into it. And we do not want that, friends. Let's go ahead and attach our photo. And so this photo is going to go right about at 1 inch from this border. Let's see how, maybe, no, this is at like 3/4 of an inch. And I did a pretty good job. Yay! Okay, so I want to start down here first. And I want to pop a little bit of foam. Start to say, please tell me I still have. I am praying for the day that we get thin foam squares back. These came from scrapbook.com. But I am really praying for the day that we get thin foam squares back. Pull in my little tabletop trash can. And we are going to drop this little guy down. And of course, I'll have to look at my sentiments and see if there is a cute little fall sentiment that I can put down here. I struggled around a little bit deciding how I wanted to cut that title. Now, I don't want to, again, I do not want to cover up any of Dolly's handwriting. And then I want to take this little piece and we're going to just pop it up. I have to pull some more of the large ones out. And I'm not going to put any adhesive at all here because it's going to overlap. So I just need it in that one spot on the right side of that embellishment. And that is literally just a piece of that border. I didn't want to use the whole border. That's just a piece. So now I am going to let this ticket stub, and I don't want to trim any of it off. Now, I don't think I have scrapbooked memorabilia before, and I've never had any problems with scrapbooking memorabilia before. I've never had any problems scrapbooking anything like this before. So we're just going to go ahead and stick that down right there. And then our title says Good Times. And that's going to happen right up here. We're almost finished, friends. I think I want the good times to be right at the photo. Now I will have to look at this and make sure that it is not crooked when this is attached. So hopefully you are inspired to play around a little bit with some colors. Hopefully, did you see what I did? I'm not going to edit that out. I am not going to edit that out. I picked that up to see if it was straight, and instead of it being straight, I had times good. I am not going to edit that out. I'm going to give you a giggle. I am going to give you a giggle on me. I love it. I love it. That is a little. Let's lift this photo just a little right here. There we go. We're going to be happy with it. Okay, we are going to be happy with it. Now let's look and see what we have. Here are some larger pumpkins. I'm just looking to see what we have up here. Let's see what kind of, oh, you know what? We've got bountiful, thankful, plentiful, grateful. This is a family trip, so we are definitely grateful. This red would pull a little bit of this red in down here. Tweezers. Pull in our tweezers. If I put it there, it's going to cover those pumpkins. How about if we do our grateful right there? I like it right there because I didn't want to cover any of my pumpkins. Okay, I would like, so let's come back and see. Let's fussy cut these pumpkins right there. And we're finished when we do this, friends. So we're going to just fussy cut right on the line of the pumpkin, separating the pumpkin from that mum. Now here's the thing, don't worry about, oh, you're going to destroy that mum and you won't be able to use that piece. What I can do is this could tuck under something from this side and you're never going to know that was cut off, right? So be strategic when you look at where you want to cut things like this, because you can always still use these pieces. I love these borders and I would totally use these 100% as borders, but I also need some little pumpkin pieces, right? So we're going to use them as pumpkin pieces. 100% we are going to use them as pumpkin pieces. And here we go. We have a Take Me Back Thursday that happened really quickly. We talked about some color design. We talked about how to choose color that is going to work well with your photo and make your photo pop. Let's just look at that and make sure that's not crooked. Now, if I see when I'm finished and I stand up that anything looks a little crooked, trust me, I will fix it. One thing I do think I want to do, I think I want to pull in some gems. Let me see, friends, just let me see. So these are just some gems from my stash. These are actually close to my heart, and we called these dots back in the day. I think I want to use either of these would look good, honestly. I think I'm going to do these that sort of look like they have a little glitter in them. That's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to put a large one right here, and I'm going to do a small one right here, and then I'm going to pull a medium one like right here. That's a little triangle, visual triangle. And then I'm going to do the same thing down here. I'm going to do a larger one here. We're going to do a medium one here, and we are going to do a little small one right here. And there we go, friends. This Take Me Back Thursday is complete. Let's take this off. So real quick, we talked about choosing a mat that is really going to help pull your eye to the center of the page. We talked about choosing what base, if we are going to have a pattern or colored base, how that really, I wanted to look at a brown plaid, and that really pulled this part out of the photo in the dark color here. But then I also paired this orange, and I really liked how it brought these colors in the sunset out and these colors, and it felt like it was encapsulating the photo, and then the blue focused right here, almost at the center of the photo. And then these were just strips that were already cut. We fussy cut this, fussy cut this. We're using that piece of memorabilia. And this is not a real photo. This is cardstock separating the copy of the photo. I can tell that my grateful looks a little crooked. I could fix that off camera, but we're going to go ahead and try our best to fix it now. There we go. And then we use Potter's Clay ink and a number 2 liner brush, and we splatter down just a sweet little hint of ink in those corners. I love it. And I really like, I wanted that to look like a tag and stick out up here, but I really like how that turned out better. So hopefully you enjoyed this Take Me Back Thursday. I am super excited to get this next series of Take Me Back going. I love it, and I love that it's helping me get 23-year-old this month, 23-year-old photos scrapbooked. So until next time, friends, happy scrapping.